Once upon a time, I used to be a people person. I used to love people. I used to love talking to people. I used to love interacting with people. But I'm not gonna lie to you. America has made me hate people, right? And it's not really anything that has anything to do with me. It's just what Americans have turned into, right? So I was raised old school, right? I was raised old school. Many of you probably can, agree with what I'm about to say. I was raised when you walk in a room, you speak to people, right? I was raised, you hold the door open for elderly or anybody for that fact when they're walking behind you. I was raised on manners, right? I was raised on discipline and respect, right? And then when I went to the military added even more discipline and respect to my character. A lot of people nowadays, especially Americans, they lack integrity, they lack character, they lack respect. And that's one reason why we're seeing politics spiral completely out of control. Nobody has respect for one another. And like I've always said, politics trickle down to the regular common man. And also it trickles up because guess what? Politicians are nothing more than liars in the pulpit. And they're going to feed you whatever that feeds you comfort. They're going to feed you whatever seems like it's comfortable to your mind and the way that you think. And we're seeing this play out on the highest stages, right? We're seeing it play out with the president, the way that he speaks, the way that he speaks about people, whether we're talking about racial groups, ethnicities, or even other nationalities. There is no decorum left in the United States. And what makes it even worse is people think that this is A-okay, right? And I'm by no means saying that, oh, this doesn't happen in other places of the world, which we know that it does. However, this is happening on such a massive level in the United States of America, right? And everybody is just going about their regular everyday lives thinking that this is normal, when there's nothing normal about having disregard for your fellow human beings, right? And this has been programming in the making, right? Because for the longest, we have always been the war country, right? We're always banging the war drum. We're always ready to invade. We're always ready to throw people up under the bus. That's just who we are as Americans. And I tell people this all the time. We are a violent, disrespectful country, right? A very prideful country, right? We've definitely accomplished a lot as a country, but a very disrespectful and arrogant, violent country. And just take a look through the history books. The history proves itself, right? The history proves itself. You can go back and go back through American history 101, even though they don't tell you the full story. The story is still there. And everywhere I walk, right? Everywhere I walk, I see the disrespect. I see the hate on people's faces, right? A lot of people just do not care for their fellow human being, right? Especially in America. And this is all by design, clearly, right? This is all by design. Nobody wants to break the division chain, right? Nobody wants to talk to one another. Nobody wants to settle differences. And this is on all sides of the aisle, right? It doesn't matter if you're on the left, it does not matter if you're on the right, it does not matter. At the end of the day, we should be able to come together as human beings and be able to come together as Americans to be able to set our differences aside. But we don't stay in that type of society, right? We stay in a society where people know the differences and people choose to accelerate those differences. They choose hate over peace, right? They choose violence over peace. And you can see this play out on an everyday basis. Whether we're talking about school shootings, whether we're talking about mosque shootings, whether we're talking about church shootings, whether we're talking about the hate rhetoric that is all through social media, it does not matter, right? You can see it play out. And the reasoning for that is we don't have a leadership class, right? Either they have reached the highs of the highs and they choose hate because the people are choosing hate, or they're either weak and don't want to show up as a leader in society, right? AKA the Democrats, right? And AKA, the weak ass reptilians as well, who are doing anything that Daddy Trump tells them to do, right? So you have a leadership class in America who are literally choosing not to lead how they're supposed to lead, right? We have a leadership class in America. If you ask me, I think everybody should be imprisoned at this point, right? And it doesn't matter if we're talking about the Democrats, it doesn't matter if we're talking about the reptilians. I think everybody on both sides of the aisle should be imprisoned and something else, but I'm not going to say that on this public platform, right? But the leadership class is an embarrassment, right? The leadership class is an embarrassment. They're a bunch of children, right? And throughout society, right? Throughout society, we have a bunch of freaking children who call themselves adults. And once upon a time, I used to go through life, right? Especially in my early 20s. I used to go through life and I used to look up to adults, right? I used to look up to adults. Oh, they have it all figured out. They know what they're doing. Look at them leading society and being, just a perfect example of what to be. And then growing up and going into the workforce and realizing that, damn, most of these guys are freaking children, right? Most of these guys are 12-year-olds, right? You have 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds, especially in the workforce, right? You have 40-year-olds and 50-year-olds who never grew up past 16 years old, right? Some of the people that supposed to be AKA the elderly or AKA the ones who are supposed to be, like I said, leading society, these are the ones who are acting worse than some of the teenagers, acting worse than some of the, young adults, the 20-something-year-olds. These are the ones who are supposed to be the leaders, but they're, quite frankly, they have never figured anything out, right? And it's because their parents and the leadership class before them failed them. So to reel all of this back in, man, America has just made me hate people because there's only so much that you can tolerate, right? There's only so much you can tolerate before it's just like, well, when are people going to question the programming that they're going through? When are people going to step up and realize that they're being pitted against one another? When are people going to step up and look at their other fellow human being and acknowledge differences, but the differences are not enough to cause the insurmountable amount of division that we're seeing in America today, right? People want to literally kill one another. And I by no means am exaggerating. If you're watching this from America, you stay in this country and you're seeing it play out. Whether we're talking about on social media, whether we're seeing political figures go back and forth, we're seeing this play out. I mean, even to the point where, Trump, not jokingly, wants to go around gathering up all the Democrats and throwing them into prison. And I'm not saying that the Democrats don't do things themselves as well, but overall, I mean, it's a whole shit show, right? It's a whole shit show. And We allowed this, man. That's the thing. We allow all of this, and quite frankly, like I continue to say, there's no reversing this, right? It's so crazy now. You can be a sweetheart to somebody, right? You can be nice to somebody, and I'm talking from experience. You can be nice to somebody, and they'll turn around and be an absolute monster to you, right? They'll turn around and treat you like absolute shit, which I find is absolute ridiculous. So you're telling me I'm being a good human being to you, but you're intentionally making the choice to be destructive, to be hateful. I've experienced this on countless occasions. And I'm not saying everybody out here, is just a bunch of, you know, hateful people. That's not what I'm saying. But it damn sure is, it has infiltrated our society. And a lot of people are this way. A lot of people. And a lot of people don't know themselves, right? A lot of people don't love themselves. A lot of people are clueless about what's going on. A lot of people are just empty vessels, right? They have no soul. And I don't mean that to take away their humanity per se. I mean that in a lot of people are soulless. And I use that in the context of people are going through life eyes closed, right? They're going through life and all they know is social media. That's all they absorb. So all of the hatefulness, all of the jealousy, you can really trace it back to social media and the way people interact with each other on social media. It's funny when people say go outside and touch grass, but in reality, social media is the grass, right? Whether we want to admit it or not, social media is a think tank, right? Everybody is voicing, whether that's in the light or in the dark, they're voicing what they believe in the comment section. They're voicing what they believe on social media, on videos, right? They're voicing what they believe. That is the grass. Those are real people who are commenting. I mean, you got some bots and stuff like that, probably some propaganda here and there. But all together, these are people who feel this way, right, in our society. And we have to take that and really sit back and evaluate what in the world is going on in our society and how did we end up here, right? And what is the solution? Not for the masses, but what is the solution for yourself, right? I've already found a solution for myself. I'm packing my bags and getting the fuck up on out of here, because at the end of the day, right, like I keep saying, I don't mean to be a nihilist. I don't mean to be super black pill, but there is no fixing it, right? There's no fixing it. There's no fixing the people. There's no fixing the politics in this country, because both sides are compromised. The entire political class is compromised. Our whole system is compromised. And they're dividing us on purpose. They're separating us on purpose. They want us to be hateful, right? And this is why I joke. This is why I joke about, this is why I joke about, there's going to be some revolution or something like that. Listen, guys, I know some of you, your panties get wet when you think about a revolution. Some of y'all probably got a whole arsenal of your favorite 5.56s and 7.62s, but I'm just put it like this. For the most part of what I've seen, the majority of y'all are just gonna point it at your fellow Americans and not at the right people, right? And that's exactly what they want. They want you to burn this place down. And quite frankly, I welcome it. I welcome y'all to burn this place down, because that's exactly what needs to happen at this point, right? When a limb becomes so infected, right? To save the body, you have to cut that limb off. And I believe at this point in time, this point in history, we're at the point where we have to start cutting off limbs, right? And I mean that in a metaphorical way of talking, YouTube. Don't get it twisted, okay? we're at the point where we have limbs that are infected, severely infected now. And we have to let limbs go at this point if we want to. If saving America is in the conversation, we have to start cutting off limbs. That's the only way that I see us making it out of this. But I won't be doing anything. I'll be long gone, creating a new life for myself and my family. I'll be going to a new country here soon. Yes, I will be back and forth for administrative reasons and for monetary reasons until I make a full transition. However, I am transitioning into a new country and I am up out of here because I'm just done with it. I'm done with the hateful rhetorics that goes on in America. I'm done with the divisiveness. I'm done with the fake Christians, the fake Christian love. I'm done with the fake friends. I'm done with the jealousy. I'm done with the hate. I'm done with the fake camaraderie. I'm done with it, right? And that's a choice that I've made, alongside my family. It is what it is. And if you didn't know, many Americans, this is the most Americans are leaving America since the Great Depression, right? A lot of people are moving. A lot of wealthy people are also getting second passports. If that don't tell you where America is trending, I don't know what is. Because when rich people start investing into, which they always have, but when they start in mass investing into second passports, that tells you exactly where America is. And people are using their passports as a resource, which if you come over to the Patreon, this is exactly what I talk about. Your second passport is a resource. A residency is a resource. You use it to your advantage because you never know. Well, at this point, you should know exactly what's about to happen to America. Predictive analytics, it's clear as day what's about to happen to America. So before things pop off, you may want to go ahead and get your second passport, because I'm sure many of you probably feel exactly how I feel amongst people, right? I don't even really interact with people unless you're the inner circle or somebody close that I trust, right? And I trust nobody. But if you're somebody close or the inner circle, I don't really talk to people. I don't like interacting with people. Most of the time, it's always a bad experience, right? Especially once you start to reveal certain things to them. People want to try to gauge you. They want to compare and contrast you, especially men. Men are the new women. Guys, if you didn't know, most men are real deal bitches nowadays. And when you're headed somewhere and you're building yourself up, you're building up your fitness, you're building up your mind, you're building up businesses, right? There's little to no friends you will have. And that's just the truth of the matter. Why so many people stay at the bottom? Because they want to feel loved. They want to be surrounded by different people, right? I could care less about that. But yeah, man, let me know what you guys think down in the comment section. Listen, if you want more knowledge on changing countries, changing your direction, if you want more knowledge on how to build applications, if you want more knowledge on how to build a sovereign life for yourself, hit that link in the description. Come over to the Patreon. And if you want to dive even deeper, right? If you want to be surrounded by like-minded individuals, come over to the Inner Circle. Our first networking event will be in Cartagena, Colombia at the end of the year, December into January, our first networking event. We already got people booked. We already got people ready to go. We're locked and loaded. And if you want to gain knowledge and if you want to come over there with like-minded individuals who are doing things, the movers and shakers of the world, come and join the Inner Circle. And I'll see you guys over there. Listen, the after pill is the ideology. The escape blueprint is the framework. And PFP life is how you should live, in purpose, in freedom, and in power. I'll see you guys on the Patreon. Peace.
I built a life. I built a family. I worked my hands raw to get here. And I'm not done. This is the escape blueprint. PFP life. A way out of the grind and into control. You'll learn how I stack cash, build systems, and reclaim time so you can live on your own terms. You will watch me maneuver and grind towards the life that I achieve for myself, and you can also do the same. Join the circle, join the Patreon, learn the steps, and protect your freedom. The Escape Blueprint, PFP Life.